This time they go toward Cropper-Kenton, and here is the maul. It'll rumble, they'll be roared on. England tracking towards the line, looking for the first try of the tournament.
And on Friday there, he's taken a lot of ball.
Red Roses don't just win, they destroy. Since the 2021 World Cup final, England's women have been unstoppable, laying waste to anyone who dares oppose them. 33 games unbeaten, the best rugby team in the world, and now world champions.
7 years of domination finally nets the ultimate prize in women's rugby.
But how did the Red Roses become the most brutal team in women's rugby? Since the devastating defeat to the Black Ferns in 2021, the Red Roses have gone on a rampage. They've not only destroyed New Zealand twice, but literally dominated the Six Nations, winning the Grand Slam 6 times in the last 7 years. But let's face it would have probably been 7 had it been contested in 2020 during the pandemic. And all this thanks to one secret weapon instilled by a former player turned coach. Lewis Deacon might not be familiar to many fans of rugby, especially with all the focus shifting towards John Mitchell, serving as the current English women head coach. But since 2018, forwards coach and former Leicester Tigers player Lewis Deacon has been preaching a philosophy only used by the Springboks. Deacon first began working with the forwards, realizing that one of the most important facets of the game is the forward play. If the forwards dominate, it gives the backs more room and momentum to run with the ball. With players such as Sarah Byrne, the Roses realize they have size, and this can be generated into power. So what they have done, well-taken leaflet out of the Springbok playbook and worked on the driving maul. It ain't flashy, nor is it exciting, but it gets the job done every single time.
Telling brings it down. England will rumble once more. Heaving their way forward with Lark Atkin-Davis tucked in the back under the arm. This relentless white wave.
What makes it even more impressive is that other teams are aware of this tactic, but they simply cannot stop it, giving the Roses a clear advantage whenever they step onto the pitch. But Deacon's maul isn't the only thing that has turned the Roses into a monster and the best rugby team in the world. A few legends of the game have been shaping up in the back line, scoring some incredible tries along the way.
Free shot if you like, and who's the person to take it but Ellie Kildan? Little bit of footwork, goes to around 1, then 2, and Ellie Kildan lights up the Allianz!
The Roses' backline is arguably another one of their best weapons. Players such as Emily Scarrett, Holly Aitchison, and Jess Breach have been running riot over defenders. But another star sits at the full back position, waiting, biding her time, and like a rocket taking off, she explodes. This is none other than the 2024 Women's Player of the Year, Ellie Kildan. Since starting her career, Ellie has been making waves in women's rugby, setting record after record. She doesn't have the brute force of Portia Woodman, but with an eye for a gap, it's impossible to stop this young woman. Now, we cannot throw away the legendary Emily Scarrett, who has been around since England last won the World Cup in 2014. Emily was a former captain of the Roses, and while she isn't the current leader of the team, her contributions as a leader are invaluable.
Scarrett is going to go all the way! Emily Scarrett is in the building. The England captain opens the score. 39th in England's colours. She goes over 400 points in her England.
In fact, it is a combination of these stars, who are all the very best in the world in their respective positions, that has propelled the Roses to become the greatest rugby team in history. And yes, you heard that right. Forget the 2019 or 2023 Springboks. You can even look past the 2011 and 2015 All Blacks, and none of them stack up to the current Red Roses in terms of tries and wins. Don't believe me? Here are a few stats. To put this into some context, the longest All Black winning streak is just 17 games, which they accomplished in the 70s. As for the Springboks, they haven't even had a season where they were unbeaten in the modern era. But the Roses, well, 3 years and counting. By the time you watch this video, the 33-game streak might have already been extended. And we hear you asking, but what about the Black Ferns, who dominated women's rugby for 7 years, going undefeated from 2002 to 2009? So let's look at that for a second before we delve into what really made the Roses the greatest rugby team in the world. Back in the early 2000s, women's rugby was in its infancy, and very few nations managed to compete. England didn't play professionally yet, while the only true competition for New Zealand was Australia. The Wallaroos haven't really been as dominant as their neighbors, and without much competition on a global scale, the Ferns just kept on winning. It's like having a professional rugby team compete with club rugby, and the first time they encountered a professional team, they couldn't win the World Cup. This sent the Ferns back to the drawing board, coming back and doubling up in 2017 and 2021. But behind the scenes, England was building one of the strongest teams in the world. And in 2025, it all paid off, not just at the World Cup, but months before. So, what exactly has John Mitchell and company been working on to make the Red Roses a merciless rugby nation? Offense wins you games, but what the Roses have done is taken it one step further. In the recent Six Nations, England managed to score a whopping 40 tries in 5 games. To put this into more perspective, that's at least 8 tries in every game. Even more shocking are the minor stats everyone often misses. During these 5 Six Nation games, England carried the ball 674 times. Quite a lot for a team playing in a competitive tournament. But it is not the possession stats that make them incredible. The English had 58 line breaks, averaging a line break with every 12 carries. Even more, they made 4.5 meters per carry, double the average of a team like Scotland. Their attacking dominance was so profound that attack coach Lou Meadows even told the media that, ultimately, defensive teams and the defensive coaches of those teams don't know how to stop us. They're literally sat there going, I don't know what's coming. And this is true. Much like the powerful driving maul that has been plaguing the opposition, teams know about the incredible attack of the Roses, yet they have no idea how to stop them. But the saying goes, offense wins you games, but defense wins you championships. And for some reason, it is the one weakness the Roses are facing.
It's tucked under the left arm of Emily Tutossi at the back, and they're well organised, Canada, trying to beat England at their own game. Tutossi!
Even though the Roses have been dominating the scoreboard, it is not like they are unbreakable. In fact, the Roses have a tendency to concede a ton of points, especially against the likes of top teams like New Zealand, France, and Canada. Again, we look at the Six Nations for a better comparison against teams of similar stature. Sarah Hunter, the former World Cup winner, is currently in charge of the Roses' defense. And while they've been allowing a lot of tries, especially in the 1-point victory over France, Sarah has been making some improvements. The Roses made a whopping 729 tackles, which was the second lowest in the tournament. This is expected when you average about 56% of possession in every single game. Despite the relatively low tackle count, England missed just 69 of their tackles across the tournament, topping the completion rate at 91.35%. This doesn't seem like a weakness, right? But those missed tackles have often exposed one of the most critical weaknesses in the Roses setup. Once they miss those first-time tackles, the scramble defense simply cannot get back to stop and try from being scored. It is those kinds of errors that often lead to bigger problems. It is not their only weakness. Even though the Roses seem to dominate with ball in hand, having no problem finding the whitewash, they often struggle when it comes to getting crucial points. Much like Handré Pollard and Johnny Wilkinson have won games from the boot, the English goal kicking seems a little woeful. But if you're scoring tries, it doesn't even matter, does it? Let us know what you think in the comments. So, what has made the Roses the most brutal team in World Rugby? There is no denying that each individual player on the Roses roster have incredible talent. They are individually brilliant while playing for local clubs, but John Mitchell also doesn't force them to adhere to a game plan. He gives them the freedom to run with the ball. This has unleashed players like Ellie Kildunn, Emily Scarrett, and Jess Breach to use their natural skills when receiving the ball in space. The combination of these factors has led to an extreme buildup of confidence, and it doesn't seem like any team in World Rugby will stop them. But what do you think of the powerhouse that is the Roses? And where will this streak of dominance end? Make sure to let us know in the comments. And if we missed anything about the most dominant team in World Rugby, be sure to share your thoughts.